for joining us. I'll start again. Thank you for joining us. Amanda and I are talking about managing inflammation and pain naturally, and we come with a little bit of background, personal experience, and success stories. And so that's why we have been selected to share our information and knowledge with you. We both are avid consumers of essential oils, have successfully used them for many, many years. We both have overcome some really significant health issues. And so we are excited to share that with you. It is what gives us the most pleasure in sharing information that most people don't even know about, or it's always sort of had a negative connotation to it. And we, with our own success, we stand really firmly in the use of natural health, and so we're happy to do that tonight. And what I would just say is, Amanda and I did this just before we came on, used a peppermint oil. And the reason being is there actually is research that shows that practice can help improve your attention, focus, and even performance on tasks. So we want your attention for tonight. So that you're not falling asleep on us, but you can take 1 to 2 drops in the palm of your hand and then rub your hands together, cup them over your nose and your mouth, creating a scent tent, and take in 3 deep inhales. Just want to watch your eyes, and most of you probably already know you've experienced this, but just to bring that awareness and the focus to us all as we share our information tonight. So my background is I've been using natural health products now since 2016. And about 2 years ago, I had significant health issues in that I needed to have my hip replaced. I was diagnosed with having hip dysplasia, which really is a birth defect that at about the age of 2, my hip had not formed properly, but I did not know that until my mid-50s. So I was really relatively young to be having hip replacement surgery. But during that journey, it took about 2 years for them to figure out that that's exactly what was wrong with me. And I was not well. I was really not well for about 2 years. And then, so I knew leading up to surgery that I needed to get my overall health in check to set me up for success with the surgery. I was so the diagnosis was that I had end of life bone. And the doctor at Mount Sinai Hospital, sports medicine doctor, said he'd never seen that at my age for bone health. And so I was spending an awful lot of time in bed because if I walked, my bone was grinding, the sound was awful, and the pain was unbearable. But I was not prepared to take really strong medication, pain medication, to deal with that. And so when I learned that I couldn't damage my bone any longer by walking, because the doctors were really concerned, because laying in bed is not good for you overall, to be sedentary. So when they finally had said I needed surgery and I needed to be taking strong medication to get me up and out of bed, and I refused to do that, I did agree to do Tylenol arthritis and an anti-inflam. So they had an idea to be able to give me a benchmark on my pain tolerance. But I was triaged in an urgent program, and that urgent program was a 6-month hip and knee replacement program in Toronto that the first available hospital that could take me would, and that took 6 months. So had I been on opioids, as my doctor had insisted, and I say insisted because he stood over top of me to say, you need to be taking these strong medication. I, with the help of my family standing by me, said I wouldn't do that and I was going to find another way, and I did. And so that is a little bit of my story on how I was able to use these products that we're going to talk to you about tonight to successfully manage my pain through that process.
Yeah, it's so powerful. Even just like hearing the stories give you goosebumps, right? So for me, I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 29, and multiple surgeries come with that. So 18 years ago, I didn't have doTERRA in my life. And so I went through having a bilateral mastectomy and then pushing pain meds. Well, I'm actually allergic to morphine. And so we found that out at that surgery. And so I wasn't able to take other pain medications because of that. And so as I was prepping for other surgeries and different things that were going on, I needed to figure out ways to manage pain more naturally. And so doTERRA came into my life a little bit later. I'm so grateful to be able to help people earlier on. I wish I had it earlier on. So through chemo, the aches and pains that you get, the body aches and all of that, I managed just through herbs and different foods and some, really good mindset stuff, which we'll talk a little bit about. But my second and third and fourth surgeries, I had doTERRA in my life. And man, what a difference. So when I had my implants removed, I was like dead set. I'm like, I don't need pain medications after the hospital, right? So in the hospital, yes, they give you pain meds. I came home and we're going to talk about the things that I use. I didn't touch one pain med. I got the prescription just in case, but because I know and I've been through the surgeries, if you push yourself further because you're on pain meds, you're going to do things that, you're going to end up going, I've overstretched, I've done too much, and now I'm doing more damage. And so I've been able to use them in that ways for post, like pre-surgery prep, post-surgery. And then just after my last surgery in 2022, I decided to go skiing a month after I had my oophorectomy. So my ovaries and fallopian tubes removed. And I hit a little bit of a bump and I panicked that I was going to land on my front and I detached my ACL. And so I went and saw a sports doctor, and they were like, you know what? You probably need surgery, but we're going to do all the MRIs, all of that stuff. In the meantime, I had gone hardcore using the doTERRA products. And the sports doctor was like, I don't think the x-ray is the x-ray of your knee. Like we had to triple check it because you're walking normal, it's not inflamed, it's this, and they kept going through. They're like, can we redo this? I'm like, go ahead. And in fact, it was my knee. It was completely detached. But the surgeon actually said to me, the way that you're responding to whatever you're doing, I don't care what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, please don't stop. Because if I do surgery, you may not even be able to be at the quality of life that you're at right now. So I avoided that surgery completely. My ACL is pretty much reattached this many years later, and I have nothing that I could say that I can't do or have to do differently because of my detached ACL. So just kind of some history on that of just like us really using these products in so many different ways. And I think the biggest piece of it is going like, I knew when I detached my ACL, when I hurt myself, I was like, doTERRA, like I need this now, like start like layering it on. And luckily when we go skiing, I always have my little toolbox with me. So there we go. Carolyn, I'll let you take that over.
Okay. Okay, so understanding your body's signals. So getting started here, one of the most common reasons people visit healthcare professionals is to seek relief from joint discomfort, back problems, aches, and general discomfort. Fortunately, doTERRA has a range of amazing products that can help address these issues. For some people, though, the challenge isn't the availability of products, it's figuring out which product to use when and for what particular concern. And that's where we hope to help tonight. So today we're going to talk about 5 specific products that can help support your body's comfort, encourage a healthy inflammatory response, and promote joint health and mobility. And we're going to break this down by looking at the cellular and molecular targets of each product. Why does this matter? Because understanding how the ingredients in these products work on a cellular level can give us clues about when and how to use them most effectively.
All right. So we can't talk about pain if we don't talk about some of the foundational health. So maybe put a 1 in the chat if you are someone that's already familiar with doTERRA and you're like, I am on the foundational wellness. So I started taking these probably a couple months after I started doTERRA. I was on the Lifelong Vitality. And honestly, for me, when I look at this product, most of my aches and pains go away when I'm using this on a regular, consistent basis. Those little like creaks in the back, the little like things as you get a little bit older, my menopausal aches and pains, when I forget them, I'm like, oh, I get out of bed and I'm a little bit stiff, right? I can feel that. And so we've got 2 options. We've got the powdered version, which is your supplement version. We've got the pill version, which most of us have been on for years. It's more about convenience and what you're going to take. If you're not consistent, then find the one that you're going to be consistent with. But we know that when your body's getting it consistently, you will see inflammation markers drop. You'll see that chronic discomfort that you're feeling on a daily basis start to diminish. And you're going to see those things shift in your body and go, I don't need to use as many of the next products that we're going to talk about, except for maybe in those acute situations or those situations where something else is off. But if you've got some of those that arthritic pains, those old age pains, those things where things just crick when you kind of get out of bed, starting with something foundational is going to help you hugely to see what do you actually need after that. Some people, this is it. And then they just need a couple little things when they've overworked their body. So we couldn't not talk about this. We do a whole other workshop on this specifically, but we couldn't not address this because we'd be doing it in disservice if we didn't.
And that was
So
the products that I used to help get myself in a healthy state prior to surgery because my terrain was really unhealthy with chronic inflammation in particular, and so it really effective.
yeah. And now we're
This
going to get into a couple of the products. Let's go.
this is my favorite. So boswellic acid and frankincense. So the boswellic acid and frankincense. Or the boswellic acid found in frankincense essential oil works on multiple cellular and molecular targets to promote a healthy inflammatory response and encourage immune tolerance and balance. This is critical because it helps maintain healthy cartilage and supports a balanced immune system and a healthy inflammatory response. What's really interesting about boswellic acid and frankincense is their ability to influence dendritic cells. These cells help regulate self-reactive immune responses, meaning they promote immune tolerance, which is important because it prevents our immune system from attacking our own body. If you know someone whose immune system is in a hyperactive state, someone whose immune system is overacting things it shouldn't, it's a great idea for them to use this combination. It can help balance the immune system and promote overall immune health. This makes boswellic acid and frankincense a wonderful choice for anyone needing immune support and balance. And we've given directions on what the bottles say for usage. The suggested use here is 1 or more capsules daily as needed with food. But I can tell you that, and Amanda will say the same, we have at times, depending on where we are in that healing journey or health journey, we've had to take a lot more than the prescribed. And again, essential oils have an innate intelligence to them. And when you tap into your own intuition, even feeling what it is you need, the oils will speak to you, and your body is intelligent and will know and processes what it needs. But this was foundational for me and still is.
Yeah, and for me, it helped with that brain fog. Honestly, like this, phew, I know that doesn't have to do with pain, but when your head's in pain because you're not thinking clearly, and that there's that menopause brain that comes with it, this helps to like clear that and lift that so you're not stumbling over things and tripping over things and then hurting yourself. So kind of preventative in there. Oh, let's go.
All right, and this would be my next biggie. So Copaiba or Copaiba, this is it's well known for containing the highest amount of beta caryophyllene. I always say that incorrect. Which is a phytocannabinoid. It interacts with our endocannabinoid system. Copaiba does more than just work through the endocannabinoid system, though. It also interacts with the opioid receptors and cells in both the central and peripheral nervous systems. This makes Copaiba an ideal option for body discomfort, especially when that discomfort is related to the nervous system dysregulation. If the discomfort is not only physical, but also involves an overactive response from the nervous system, Copaiba can be incredibly effective in calming that down. It helps reduce the perception of discomfort and helps you feel more balanced both physically and emotionally. So when someone's experiencing discomfort, whether new or from nervous system overreaction, Copaiba is a fantastic product to reach for. It's especially helpful for discomfort that involves a neurological component. And again, I often take well, I currently am taking 3 capsules a day. But if you don't have the capsules, if you're using just the oil itself, 3 drops is the equivalent of 1 soft gel.
Yeah, I love that because we can make our own capsules, right? So perfect way to be able to use that. All right, let's talk about the turmeric duo capsule. So many people hear about turmeric and they think it's just the curcumin. You know, we read about turmeric and everyone thinks it's the powder, and I'm putting powder in my food. This is different, guys. So the turmeric duo capsules contain the curcumin from the herb and the essential oil, the turmeron. So we're actually putting this back together, and I kind of call it like we're putting the plant back together so it can work in our body. When you just have the curcumin, you need something like black pepper to activate it. With our turmeric duo capsules, because we're putting that plant back together, you don't need black pepper. So if you're wondering why it's not in there, that's why. It's way more bioavailable putting that whole plant back together. And this sets it apart from anything else in the market because it works on the MAO pathways. When we talk about the mood, the nervous system regulation, they metabolic pathways and roots. That's where our enzymes break down, and all of those things like serotonin, dopamine, that controls those levels of the brain to go, oh, this is making me feel pain. Ooh, I feel this. All of that can help to promote your body to go, this is going to help bring down that inflammatory response. This is going to help the brain go, oh, it's going to bring that down and calm that nervous system. It's going to help with your brain health. If you think if everything's flowing a little bit better and there's more going through, you're going to be able to feel better supported. Things can move better. When you think of the turmeric duo capsules, you can think about using them when you need long-term support for discomfort or for extra support with mood regulation or nerve support. It's ideal if you've got that chronic aches and pains that have been around for a long time and you're taking the lifelong vitality, but it's, you know, you're still feeling it. This is going to bring that down a little bit and regulate any of that imbalance that's happening. So I was taking these after I had my ski accident on a regular, consistent basis. My knee didn't inflame pretty much at all, to the point that they were like, when did you hurt yourself? So I was very consistent. Remember, with all of these things, it doesn't mean just taking it once. It means take it and then continue to take it so your body can have it running through its system. And so it's able to use what it needs. These are way more powerful than anything else on the market in terms of turmeric and bringing down that inflammatory response. So when we just look at the three of them, we wanted to break it down and then bring it back together. We've got the frankincense with the boswellic acid, and that's best for your immune balance, your cartilage health. And then we've got the copaiba, that's for your nervous system, kind of calming and chilling your body out. Maybe for some of that discomfort that you're feeling or that perceived discomfort, in terms of like, I know I feel sore when I get up every morning, so I'm going to take some turmeric in the morning, and that's going to help bring down that perceived anxiety and idea that it might be sore. And then the turmeric duo capsules are for that long-term aches and pains and mood support. When we think about all of these products, the key is knowing how they interact with the body and how they interact with the cells, so you can figure out which one to use when. By understanding that and then listening to your body, you can better match this product with your body's need. But please, if you're trying something and it's not quite fitting, it's not quite working, you're not getting the results, switch it up. Because sometimes our bodies are all unique, and sometimes it needs a little shift and change. So don't be afraid to switch that up.
Yeah, that's great advice, because really, and on any particular day too, like things may just not be responding as well. And typically, if you don't get a result, I find within about 10 minutes of trying something, I move on fairly quickly to something else, because and oftentimes you use an oil in particular that isn't necessarily the right oil, and you'll get a benefit in some other way that you hadn't understood that you even needed it for. So you really can't
So
lose.
true.
So again, here's another powerful oil, and this comes in a soft gel as well. So the essential oils in DDR Prime are included for their known antioxidant activity. Their ability to preserve and encourage the natural production of glutathione and superoxide dismutase, which is in brackets SOD. Those are two key antioxidants that our body naturally makes and relies on to protect itself against free radicals. It's one of the great benefits of essential oils. They don't just provide you with antioxidants, they help your body utilize its own stores and even encourage the production of these important antioxidants. In addition, the oils in DDR Prime can activate certain cellular and antioxidant defense pathways, helping to protect your DNA from damage and mutation. So when we think about DDR Prime, it's a product that helps defend our cells, tissues, and organs, ensuring that they maintain their healthy function. It's a great option to pair with many of the other products we've already talked about, whether it's for immune support, joint comfort, or inflammatory system support.
I think this one's often overlooked. I mean, people probably have this one and don't think about it for pain. So bring this out of your toolbox for your pain.
Yeah.
Let's see. Come on. There we go. Okay. Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. So we're going to talk about the Deep Blue products. Most people probably think of pain and think, oh, Deep Blue. So the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex is packed with polyphenol-rich botanicals, including the Boswellia setaera extract, ginger, turmeric, grapeseed extract. These were selected because of their ability to help promote healthy inflammatory response, which means it's helping to bring down that inflammation and encourage the joint health, mobility, and comfort. It's amazing to be able to use with Copaiba, the DDR Prime, the turmeric duo capsules, or the frankincense capsules. If you're struggling with those joint issues, this can be your go-to product. I kind of like to think of this one as your like, if you were popping Advil, Tylenol, or when I was in surgery and they were telling me to take these things after, this is a great one for like your period cramps, those things that are just, your pain. Amazing to be able to support all of that and use it for those things. Taking 2 capsules a day, it says with food. I'll be honest, I'm a person that doesn't typically take things with food, and it just depends on your stomach as well. But you can take it in the morning and in the evening and just be able to work that through your body and space out those pain. I keep pressing the wrong button to change the things. Most of you guys know about the Deep Blue Rub and Deep Blue Stick. These are our like infamous pain. And I call them like this is the stuff when you're in pain and things are happening and you've overused something or you've stretched something too far. We think to go to a muscle rub or a muscle pain reliever. So this is something that you can use every day. It's fast acting, it's localized, like you're going to put it where it hurts and you're going to get that immediate relief. So the difference between the rub and the stick, other than one's a rub and it's cream and one's a stick, is that the stick actually has copaiba in it. So you heard Carolyn talk about copaiba, but some copaiba was added to this because we all knew copaiba helps with pain. It also makes it easier to be able to apply and not get it all over your hands. So, some people have a preference with one or the other, but you're able to apply it over those areas. You're getting wintergreen, peppermint, blue tansy, giving it that blue tinge. Helichrysum is helping some of those ligament support. And honestly, for me, I will also use it before I work out because I probably don't stretch as well as I should. So before a massage, before chiropractor, get everything loose and warm. I'll go in my car, turn on the heated seats, everything warms up. You can feel that peppermint tingling, and then you're nice and relaxed and your muscles are relaxed. So don't just use it after, use it as some prevention as well, and then be able to have it on the go with you throughout workouts or throughout in your kids or your own sports bags or things like that. So great for everyday use. All right.
This is a biggie. So adaptive capsules, this is probably hands down my favorite product, hands down. I have used it successfully since 2022 consistently to replace prescription medication for generalized anxiety disorder. So these have been a staple in my home. And I didn't understand initially when I started out with all the pain and prior to surgery, but how important they were going to be for my nervous system and dealing with pain management. So it is really nervous system support for pain management. And why this matters for pain is because chronic pain is rarely just physical. It's often driven by an overactive nervous system stuck in fight or flight. And when the body can't really fully relax, pain signals stay loud, muscles stay tight, and inflammation persists. So adaptive capsules work at the neurochemical level to help calm the nervous system, supporting the body's natural ability to downregulate pain. And why it's so important is that GABA, it contains GABA. And GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid, which is the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. It acts as the nervous system's brake pedal. It reduces excess nerve firing that amplifies pain signals. It helps quiet muscle tension, nerve pain, and stress-related inflammation. It supports deeper relaxation, allowing the body to shift into healing mode. And when we have low GABA activity in the body, it's commonly associated with chronic pain, fibromyalgia, tension headaches, joint and muscle tightness, sleep, and even sleep disruption can worsen the pain perception. But when we have healthy GABA levels, we feel the body allows the body to feel safe enough to release the pain rather than guard against it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? And again, it says 1 capsule a day. There are days when I need more than that. And so I would quite often, especially if I've got something, even tonight before coming on, I've taken an adaptive prior to this just to help take the edge off so I'm not quite as nervous.
Yeah, and I'll just share a testimonial of this because my mom, I mean, I love adaptive capsules. I've used them for stress, overwhelm, and all of that. My mom was getting shingles nonstop. And if you've ever had shingles, I didn't know really how bad it was. And then I kind of made it, I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad. And then I went over and saw her and it was like electric. She was being electrocuted, like her nervous system was just being electrocuted. And so we realized that stress equaled her getting shingles. So she literally takes the adaptive capsules daily, especially and sometimes more a day when she's feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And it brings if she starts to feel a little bit of shingles coming on, boom, comes off. If you're feeling some of those like nervous system off, she literally, the only time she's got shingles since we started doing this was when she forgot to take them with her before she went away on vacation. By the time she came back, she had shingles. And then once they're there, they're very hard to, manage, even though she's doing it naturally. But just know that, sometimes when we think of adaptive, oh, it's for stress, it's for calming, so many other amazing benefits. And so pay attention and listen to your body because when we're stressed, we're often showing pain in so many different ways. And so we kind of already talked about this. You really need to give it time. Please don't think that you can try, just take a turmeric capsule and all of your inflammation is going to be gone in your body. You need to give like 30 days minimally. That's why our Lifelong Vitality vitamins have a 30-day money back guarantee. That's why minimal. But really, 60 to 90 days is going to give you, especially if it's more chronic, that real idea of what's working. When do you notice things come up and down and how your body's responding to what you're doing? Consistency. I mean, you need to be consistent. We can't preach that enough. Taking it once a day is not going to give you the relief if you've got something in a flare up, and you need to be taking things daily. And so, we go through all of that part. Listen to your body and track the progress. I find for a lot of us, we may not notice, especially with taking something, like the vitamins are foundational wellness. We don't notice some of the things that start to go away as we start to be more consistent with products until we come off of them. And then we go, oh my goodness. So pay attention, track those things. How are you sleeping better? All of those things. When your body's in better health mode, you're not feeling as much pain, you will sleep better. When you're sleeping better, your body will repair better. When it's repairing better, your inflammation will go down. You see how everything kind of works together? So pay attention to all of those things. And then dosages we talked about, we always will say follow the dosage on the bottle as it's stated there. But then please listen to your body and talk to the person that brought you in about, how you can increase a dosage for a shorter period of time. And then we know you guys love recipes, so we included some extra recipes for you to end us off of some of our favorite ones.
Yeah, this recipe in particular, I have a client currently using it for arthritic pain in her hands, and it's actually starting to take the nobules, you know how you're around the joints of the fingers, real is taking that swelling right she's in heaven because they can become quite disfigured and disformed. So, but the oils in this are and there's quite a few, but we're talking about a 30 ml bottle. But so we've got Deep Blue for the fast localized relief, supporting the healthy inflammatory response. Copaiba, calming those pain signals, and again, supporting the inflammation balance. Turmeric, supporting the joint mobility and inflammation. Frankincense supports cellular repair and the natural healing process. Lemongrass, too, is an incredible one for circulation and reducing stiffness. It's also really great for tendons and ligaments. Black pepper is warming, enhances with the absorption. And then the carrier oils that we've used here, FCO stands for fractionated coconut oil or jojoba. Fractionated coconut oil just means the fat has been removed from the solid oil, and so it keeps it in a liquid state. But that's light and fast absorbing. And then castor oil, and doTERRA has its own castor oil now, which we're loving, is deeply penetrating and supports inflammation reduction. So castor oil is a great one, great at breaking down even bone spurs and any sort of lesions in the bone. Is castor oil is really effective for that.
I love it. Screenshot this, guys. You guys can keep this and save this for yourself. And then this is a tension buster roller. So I've made this roller bottle, and you'll notice it's sort of similar oils, but I've also put this in a capsule. So you've got copaiba, lemongrass, marjoram for it's for that warming, but it's also for the spasms. I find if you've got any spasming going on, marjoram, that's why it's in Aroma Touch, can really help with that, and the frankincense. So you can put it in a roller bottle like here, but I actually put 1 to 2 drops of each in a little empty veggie capsule. And this is what I was taking post-surgery. And so I was taking it every 3 hours, like I would be taking a recommended pain med. And this helped to keep the pain and the inflammation down so I could manage and go throughout my day without feeling groggy, constipated, and everything from the side effects of pain meds, to really just being able to take this, feeling maybe a little bit of pain, but also knowing when my limits were. So feel free. These are all of the oils in this are ones that you can ingest. And so you can play with, the dosaging and how you want to use them. So you can screenshot that one as well. And then lastly, we just want you to, well, first of all, to thank you for coming on, spending a half hour, a little bit more, to just learn and make a difference in your own health and wellness. And we're really looking to help people honestly just learn that there's other options out there with the right products, with the patience. You can support your body's natural ability to heal and thrive, not just feel okay and thrive. And so we want you to right now text the person that invited you onto this and send them a message and say, like, thanks, or it was a bad class if you didn't like it, but thanks, or whatever your feedback was. Tell them one thing that you learned. That way, they can be like, oh, you really liked that. And maybe if you created a wish list and you started, thinking, oh, I should pull out that DDR Prime again. I've got that. Create that wish list and be like, I'd like to use this a little bit more. If you're not yet with doTERRA and you don't have the products and you're like, oh, I need these in my life, please reach out to the person that invited you onto this webinar today, and they will definitely help you out. If not, if you get lost in the mix somewhere, reach back out to the email that you got and we'll get it all sorted out for you. I don't know if there was any questions in the chat. If you guys had questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll stop sharing. Does anyone have any questions? Did we cover everything?
Vero may have got some of the.
I was just trying to look and see.
Well, at the beginning, a few people mentioned inflammation. So, what should they start with if that's what they're tackling?
Yeah. I know, I mean, again, baseline, I would always start foundational wellness. I have seen so much inflammation just be reduced by starting with either the lifelong vitality vitamins or the VMG because of everything and all the nutrients in that. And there's lots of anti-inflammatory properties in there alone. There's frankincense in there, there's essential oils. So I would start with that for 30 days and there's a money back guarantee. So it gives you some base. And then for me, for inflammation, if it's topical and you've got something going on in a specific spot, I would be using one of the roller bottles that we, gave you the recipe to really reduce some of that inflammation. And sometimes it depends on the cause, but the turmeric duo capsules are like one of my by far favorite ones, to be able to just like cut that inflammation quickly and, kind of work through that a lot faster.
I'll add in that I really found the frankincense capsules really effective. I
Right.
was starting to have problems even in my feet just because of lack of mobility, really. And I could feel when they first were introduced, I think I took two capsules right away, and I could feel the inflammation receding from my feet. So
Yeah, I wish I had them during surgeries. Those
yeah.
weren't around. Matthew asked a question, is it possible to use the recipes to apply to the skin instead of ingesting it? Absolutely. I mean, doTERRA essential oils are safe to ingest. Definitely talk to the person that brought you in to be able to go through which ones are, which ones, you shouldn't be. But applying it topically, like if your elbow sore and you can get into that spot, you will notice relief. It's going right through your skin. Your skin's your largest organ. So you're going to see that relief. People will do it internally. So, like for me, after surgeries, I needed it throughout my entire body. I was just aching all over. So, it's faster acting, getting into the cells in that way. And I wanted that relief. So, you can play with it for your own self. And you may find that sometimes you want to take some things internally and see the difference of how you feel. So, it's completely up to you, but topical is just as good. Don't underrate that topical application of essential oils to getting them onto the body to help reduce inflammation and pain.
And also diffusing oils as well. Like we sometimes forget, but that's the most powerful way to affect your mood and emotions quickly. And so again, if you can calm this to settle things down. It's so citrus oils in particular are fantastic at just making you feel better, making you smile on the days that you've got such pain that you can't smile. So those
Yeah.
it is a fast acting and powerful because the olfactory system is throughout the whole body. It's all your organs and almost every cell of the body. So it's powerful.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to use them in all of the ways. We just tried to cover really quickly some of the good things to get you in and out in half an hour. Um, oh, yeah. And I guess, to tell people, people sometimes think by using a carrier oil, you're diluting it, which means it's not going to work as well. It's in fact doing the opposite. So we encourage you to please use a carrier oil. It's going to last on your skin longer, so you're going to feel the results longer, but it's also not going to be absorbed into the air. You're going to get it right where it needs to go. So don't be afraid to use that carrier oil. It's really powerful and helps support the body and helps dilute it on your skin so it doesn't, especially something like lemongrass is a little spicy. So having that straight on the skin, you're going to want to have that carrier oil. So hopefully that helped you guys. I don't know if there's any more questions. If a question comes out at the end or after you sat with this, please feel free to reach out to the person that invited you or ask, the email, or you feel free to follow us and we'll still answer your questions. So don't worry about that too. And then we do have, sorry, Vero, I forgot. We have two other classes coming, or one other class coming up this month. We are talking about the business opportunity and how you can learn to make some money to pay for your products just by sharing what you love. That's how most of us started. So we're teaching that class. You can see there's a link in the chat. And then we've got our intimacy class on loving yourself and being more aware of how oils and natural products can help with intimacy and love. And your body's changing, especially if you're perimenopausal, menopausal, those changes that are going on in the body. And then we've got women's health and hormones coming in February. So we have it stacked. Make sure that you guys are following. We're going to continue. We'll have different leaders speaking and educating. We'll have it put out to you guys. And if you ever get lost and you can't find them, reach back out to us. And you guys are welcome. Other than that, have a beautiful rest of the night.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
And thanks for joining.